There is a grand event, an event that may not be visible in many countries such as India, but it has great astrological significance. It's a time that will affect not only your mind, but also your body and also your intellect, the chitta, the consciousness. The reason is that there is a solar eclipse happening in the zodiac sign of Virgo on 25th of March on a full moon day. Now, 25th of March is a festival day, and it is a time where the moon, Ketu, Sun, Rahu, and Mercury aligns in a single straight line. Now, because this is not visible, definitely there is no sutak, that means there are no restrictions as per the Shastra. But astrologically, it can trigger a lot of changes and cleansing in our life that we will not see the life as before. Nothing negative, but this eclipse holds lot of decluttering ability. I have been mentioning this in almost all of my videos that the time now wants you to follow the path of restriction, accept your limitation while you declutter and expand and be an empty cup. Just like a cup has a volume restriction, each one of us, unless we expand and become a bigger cup, we have a restriction of knowledge. It is only that much we can keep with ourselves, and eclipse is going to create a lot of decluttering of emotions, decluttering of energies. First of all, the eclipse is happening in the zodiac sign of Virgo, where is Ketu. That means this is an eclipse caused by moon and Ketu, and whenever Ketu causes an eclipse to the moon, it usually is a moon-Ketu conjunction aspected by Rahu and Sun. Therefore, the mind is facing the brutality of Ketu, and this is going to scrape the top layer of emotion, revealing the true nature of you, and also you can say it makes you vulnerable. Next is the position of Mercury, and it is very interesting. You know why? Because Mercury is the lord of Virgo. Where is Mercury? Around 29 degrees of Revati Nakshatra. Mercury at that time will be about to cross the Pisces zodiac to Aries zodiac sign. This is a Gandanta position, and this is what makes this eclipse a very interesting one. It kind of puts you a glass of darkness, and you will have to see through that tint, and you have to make out what is real and what is fictional, what are the true colors of everything. You know why? Because it also acts like a test. It's that important. Although if you see the position of Sun, Rahu and Mercury, they are widely spread apart in the three corners, left, center and right. But Mercury crossing the Gandanta shows that this eclipse has the tendency to end a lot of things. Why? Because Revati is the final nakshatra. The fourth pada of Revati is the final frontier of any soul, any karma. And when Mercury crosses that, the debilitation of Mercury reaches its pure strength, and your consciousness dissolves in the feet of Mahavishnu. And then Mercury creates a new journey, a new consciousness. And that consciousness begins with Aries. But the eclipse happens on the day of Gandanta. The word Gandanta itself means ending of a karmic knot. That means Virgo part of the horoscope is going to be heavily affected by the eclipse. So will be the Pisces, because it is happening in the Virgo-Piscean axis. Now, because Mercury is going to trigger the end of a karmic cycle, and it is so crucial that many of us will not even understand unless we have learned astrology to the core depth, that how critical this solar and lunar eclipse, this set of solar and lunar eclipse are. This Mercurian energy effect, along with Sun and Rahu, clearly talks about soul realignment. It talks about you finding the right path, but the amount of sacrifice and the grilling needed to make that right path is extremely intense, because moon, which is mind, is with Ketu, and Moon absolutely hates Ketu. If you want to know the basic concept of eclipse, what this eclipse is targeting, you will have to see 6th house from the eclipse. What does it represent? It represents Aquarius zodiac sign with Mars, Saturn and Venus. Now Venus is in Purva Bhadrapada. This is very interesting. Venus, which kind of rules the destiny of the eclipse, the 9th lord is in the 6th house in Purva Bhadrapada, which definitely shows transcendence. This shows trans-dimensional shift. This shows ascension. So if you want to see, if you want to experience ascension, maybe Kundalini awakening, spiritual awakening, suddenly after a lot of pain, now you realize what the true path is, this eclipse is going to trigger one of that. It's a very, very crucial eclipse. 6th house will give good results with Mars and Saturn. After all, Aquarius is the zodiac sign of Saturn. But Venus being there can bring disappointments, and especially in terms of relationship, marriages, contract, your engagement. So a lot of engagements will disintegrate, a lot of engagement will find new value, new relations, and you will start feeling that emotions from now. It will find its peak expression around eclipse time, and then it will continue for the next 6 months to come. Because these are eclipses. Eclipses are the nodal point, trigger points. Imagine a train reaching a junction, and after it reaches a junction, say junction X, the track changes and it wants to reach to junction Y. But imagine if the track shifts, instead of Y, the train following a track, assuming it will go to Y, will go to Z. And this shift can happen at X. So this junction, this shift, you will not experience now. You will experience after you have lived some time, after you have seen the energy shifts, and then you will realize how important, how cleansing this eclipse was. It may be a little difficult, but it is not a bad one. Now, people having Hasta Nakshatra are going to be affected the most by this eclipse. Why? Because this eclipse is happening in Hasta Nakshatra. Hasta is represented by Surya God, the one of the sun god, and it has moon connection to it. So the nakshatra itself has sun, moon and Mercury connection, because the nakshatra is ruled by planet moon. The deity is a sun god Savitur, and then it is in the zodiac sign of Mercury. Now combine both of them, you have sun, moon and Mercury. Isn't the sun, moon and Mercury aligned in the eclipse with Rahu Ketu? Now you will understand how crucial and mathematically important this eclipse is becoming. It's turning out to be a critical juncture, a critical point in all of our life, especially the one born under Hasta Nakshatra. You will see the greatest shift in your life, the greatest, I will say, karmic cleansing that will happen. But you may not like the way it happens, but it will definitely happen. It will kind of create a permanent impression in your life. So if you are dealing with anxiety, if you are suffering from any mental trauma, if you are suffering from PTSD, if you are suffering from any kind of disease, this might put an end to that chapter. What you will have to do is you need to bow down at the feet of Mahavishnu, because Mercury has reached and bowed down completely, and therefore Vishnu Sahasranam becomes the biggest remedy. Now for those who can't understand Sanskrit or cannot chant Sanskrit, should only take the name of Bhagwan Ram or say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. How many times? The time does not matter, the count doesn't matter. Start chanting. Allow your Mercury to be completely dissolved. Forget the dimension, rules, regulation. Just dissolve. The way Buddha, your consciousness, is dissolving. Now with Hasta Nakshatra impact, you will see that your hands will be impacted. If you follow your third house energies are also going to be impacted because of this. So people who are artisans, handicrafts, professionals, somebody who uses their hands a lot, will see great tremendous change in their life. Your hands will become the source of inspiration. But this is also going to impact if you have misused your hands, if you have signed something which you should not have, if you have written something which you should not have, If you have done something with your hand that is not great, this is going to take the power away, because it is all about power. There's a great power struggle happening in the Hasta Nakshatra.